Hi everyone, what I want to talk to you about in this video is plagiarism. And plagiarism has been something that is really prominent but something that UNSW takes really seriously, and it's something that we as the staff in this course take really seriously too. So I just want to give you a quick rundown of plagiarism and, point out some resources that might be helpful for you, because one of the things that I come across frequently is not necessarily, typically there are two types of students. There are the students that know that they're plagiarizing or cheating, and that's one problem. The other problem is the group of students that do things and they don't realize that that counts as cheating or plagiarism. So I just want to clarify that. So I guess one of the websites that you can go to is this www.student.unsw.edu.au/plagiarism, and that's going to take you to a bunch of different, I guess, really useful information for plagiarism. So you would know that when you actually started at UNSW, you agreed to a student code that basically dictates the conduct that you would adhere to at UNSW, which includes, behaving in a way, behaving with academic integrity. So let's actually go through really quickly what I commonly see for plagiarism. So things like, this is probably the biggest one, this copying one. Here are some examples of plagiarism. Using the same or very similar words to the original text or idea without acknowledging the source or using quotation marks. So what I typically see from students are things like copy and paste, and they won't understand, or sometimes students will copy and paste and then put the reference at the end of the sentence, but they haven't used quotation marks or anything like that. It's really important that if you are copying and pasting, that's considered a quote, and you have to put that with you have to actually use quotation marks, and even better, italicize it. So, and as well as including the acknowledgement. So copying is a big one. Inappropriate paraphrasing is another big one, which is sort of what I was just explaining. Changing a few words and phrases while mostly retaining the original structure and or progression of ideas of the original format and information without acknowledgement. So these are these two are the really big common ones that we see in this course. So remember, if you are reading sources, what we want you to do is to read multiple sources all the time, and we want you to synthesize that information. What the best approach for you is to think about, okay, I want to answer this question. How do I go about answering that question? Well, I need to read a bunch of sources so I know all about the topic, and then I make sure I write down what all those sources are, and then I go and write it in my own words and then cite those sources. So on this website, there are plenty of resources to help you work out if you have plagiarized something. There is this, if you go to, there's an academic integrity self-checklist, and you can go through this checklist here, and it basically says, if you answer these questions honestly, then it will basically tell you whether you should submit the work or not. So here, if you, for example, was each externally sourced piece of content or idea correctly cited and referenced? Now remember, in this course, we don't care what style of referencing you use, just as long as it's consistent. But if you're unsure here, you can click on this and it tells you how to cite different sources. So that's a really good one. There's also a really good website, a really good page here that is common forms of plagiarism. So we see a lot of this as well, so make sure that you are adhering to that. And what I would also recommend is the UNSW Smart Thinking service. It is official and free for UNSW students, and what you can do is you can basically book in and people can read your work and give you feedback on it. So I would really recommend that. I've heard good things about the UNSW Smart Thinking service, so make sure that you do that. But we take plagiarism very, very seriously, so make sure that you are doing all your work with the highest of academic integrity, and I look forward to reading your work. And any questions, please just ask.